Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Welcome back. Joe Biden has finally chosen a running mate. Was it based on merit? Probably not. It's probably based on gender and sex. It is well known that many in the Democratic Party have been asking Joe Biden to put a black woman as the vice presidential candidate in his ticket. Why do you? Well, they do this because they think that having a black woman would severely increase black voter turnout. And they say that black people will go out and vote for Biden. So Sleepy Joe Biden decided to elect Kamala Harris to be his running mate. Kamala Harris is a vile woman. And every chance she has gotten, she has abused her power. Let's get into it. Kamala is a dark woman. And I'm not talking about her skin. Obviously. This might get a little dark. So why don't we start off with some of her lighter critiques. In an interview that she did with The Breakfast Club, Kamala said that she used to smoke weed while she was in college, laying back and listening to Tupac and Snoop Dogg.
What does Kamala Harris listen to?
What were you listening to when you was high? What was on? What song was it?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, yeah, definitely Snoop. Tupac, for sure.
You see, this proves that Kamala lies when she doesn't have to. She lies for no reason whatsoever. How do I know she was lying? Well, you see, Kamala graduated in 86. Snoop Dogg and Tupac had their first albums in 91 and 93. So unless she smoked and got into a time machine, I don't know how that could have happened.
So there are a lot of reasons why we need to legalize.
Have you ever smoked?
I have.
Okay. Like in
And
college,
I inhaled. I did inhale.
Okay.
It was a long time ago.
Notice how she said she smoked weed and laughed about it when she was asked? Well, it's interesting to know that she has also prosecuted and charged over 1,500 people with marijuana-related charges. She has done this having partaken in and knowing the harmlessness of the drug.
If it was legalized all throughout the country and medicinal, would you do it?
Listen,
again?
I think that it gives a lot of people joy, and we need more joy.
in this world.
When Kamala was district attorney of San Francisco, there was a huge drug lab scandal. You see, what had happened was Kamala's drug lab, the one that she used, was compromised by a drug technician there. This drug technician kept systematically misplacing and mishandling the drug samples. Additionally, she consumed some. What a fun place to work out. You guys hiring? Over 1,000 cases were dismissed, and a court ruled that Kamala's office had violated defendants' constitutional rights by not disclosing what it knew about the tainted drug evidence. She's horrible, and it gets worse from here. Kamala's office, as now Attorney General of California, didn't allow prisoners that were eligible for early release, non-violent prisoners, to be released. And why? Well, her office argued that it would harm the state's prisoners' work program. Basically, let me translate it to you. This means she doesn't want non-violent offenders that are eligible for release to be released because she gets cheap labor out of them. Slavery? Huh. Nah. But wait, there's more. As Attorney General, Kamala could have affected the outcome of 2 death row cases.
Her prosecutors hid evidence, and they tried to protect. Once she knew that there was evidence that was withheld from defense attorneys, once she should have known, in my opinion, that people were innocent, she tried to protect those convictions. Why? Because she wanted to continue winning. She blocked DNA. She went to great lengths to try to block access to DNA for people that were accused of or convicted of felonies. Think about it. We're talking about a $12 DNA test.
As Attorney General, she weaponized technicalities to keep wrongfully convicted people behind bars rather than allow them new trials with competent counsel and prosecutors willing to play fair. One of them, Kevin Cooper, is on death row. Another, George Gage, will die in prison without intervention from the governor. In both cases, Harris had the power to change the outcome. She could have demanded DNA testing in Cooper's case. She refused. She could have conceded Gage's conviction was based on the prosecutor's decision to suppress evidence that devastated the credibility of those sole witness against him. She didn't. Finally, let's talk about Kamala's truancy laws. Kamala started prosecuting parents whose kids didn't go to school regularly or who skipped school or who couldn't go to school, and she would fine them $2,500 or give them a year in jail.
And I believe a child going without an education is tantamount to a crime. So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy. Well, this was a little controversial in San Francisco. And frankly, my staff went bananas. They were very concerned because we didn't know at the time whether I was going to have an opponent in my re-election race.
Who do you think this affected? Poor parents. They can't pay the $2,500, so they had to spend a year in jail. Innocent people spending time in jail for Kamala. Oh, wait, she could use them for her work program, of course. Makes sense. In the same video, she brags about having her big stick and that her political capital, aka her political power, will enable her to enact her agenda.
But I said, look, I'm done. This is a serious issue, and I've got a little political capital, and I'm going to spend some of it. And this is what we did. We recognized that in that initiative, as a prosecutor and law enforcement, I have a huge stick. The school district has got a carrot.
Do you want to give this lady your bigger stick and more political capital? Comment down below. I know I don't. Hopefully, the Democrats are right. Kamala will increase voter turnout. A lot of people will go out and vote against her and sleepy Joe Biden. Hopefully. I hope so. Because if not, Kamala's going to become the de facto president of the United States, and she's going to be laughing all the way to the White House. So what do you think? Do you like Kamala? Do you think Sleepy Joe is senile, or do you think he's fully here? Comment down below. Like, subscribe. Ginger out.